Hello and welcome to Jill Cameron Creations. This is my third project for the Hedgehog Hollow design team using the September subscription box. I am a little bit out of sorts today because I have a bad toothache, so I am going to probably play some music during my coloring on this so I don't have to talk so much because my jaw is killing me, quite honestly. So there is this beautiful peacock in the stamp set that has this gorgeous, almost geometric patterned tail, and I wanted to do this with a rainbow. I stamped using my MISTI so I could stamp a couple times and make sure that I got a really good impression. If you do stamp with a Copic safe ink, because we're going to be doing Copic coloring here in just a second, if you do stamp with a Copic safe ink, I would recommend setting it to the side and letting it dry completely for a few moments, or just hitting that image with a heat gun to make sure that the ink on the paper is completely dry. That just ensures that you're not getting black ink on the nib of your Copic markers. All I'm doing is flicking color in. I'm not being specific about the individual pieces of the tail. There is a previous post over on the Hedgehog Hollow blog that has jewel tones that has the gold outline on this, and I apologize, I cannot remember what the lady's name is that did it, and she is on the design team as well, and she did an amazing job. It is absolutely gorgeous. This is more of a quick coloring with your Copic markers, and I'm going to show you here in just a second how you can add shadows, because as you noticed, I'm only using one of each color for my rainbow, and I chose primary colors in that they are bold and they are bright, and I went Roy G. Biv. The one thing that you can do with your Copic markers, if you want to do something like this that's a rainbow effect, that first number that's in your Copic markers, if you get those as close together as possible, then they're going to pretty much blend very easily together. Now, yellow and green, of course, are not two colors that you think blend together, but they go pretty seamlessly right there. I mean, you can tell that there's a delineation between the red and the yellow and the green, but at the same time, it becomes a yellow-green color in between. It's not like, bam, there's the green. You'll notice as I go down the line here, my flicks start to get a little bit longer and a little bit longer, and I'm blending in between the yellow, the green, and the blue now, so that I'm getting an automatic blend and kind of getting a blue-green color there. I went back over it with the yellow a little bit more after it dried so that I could see where I needed to make some touch-ups here. You can see on some of this I'm going from the bottom into the blue, so I can flick back into the blue with my purple here on the next one. And my colors are listed in the products below in the description. And I evidently am not going to be playing any music here. I might play it here in just a second. But for my last color that I'll put on at the bottom here, I'll flick that a little bit further in and also go up into the blue a little bit with it, so that all of this just looks very seamless and very rainbow. That's what I wanted, so that's what I got, was a rainbow, and absolutely loved this. Now, in Copic coloring, the kind of the point of it is to get that dimension in there so that it looks like it has shadows and dark spots and light spots and that kind of thing. But when you're coloring like this, it's something that's quick and easy to do. So how do you get that depth? You add a C5 in those places that you want shadow to be. And you can go back over it a couple times if you want to. You can alternate between a darker C color, like a C7 if you wanted to. But as soon as you put this C5 in here, you start seeing those different layers come to life in the tail itself, and it starts to pop off the page a little bit. And like I said, in some of those darker areas, you could put a C7 if you wanted to. I kept this really simple and really quick. Total time for the entire card, from beginning to end, and making some decisions along the way, it took me about 45 minutes to make this card. And in card making, that's not bad at all. I had a plan in my head of what I wanted to do, and that's what I did. Now, I am going to pause here of talking and rest my mouth for a few minutes, and I'm going to play some music as I finish coloring this, because the rest of it's kind of the same thing on the top half of the bird. And then I'll come back and go over what I did with the rest of the card. Now here I'm going to zoom out and we're going to go ahead and get the rest of the card finished. And the first thing I did, I added a bunch of layers of glitter. So I have a Nuvo Aqua Shimmer pen or a glitter gloss pen, whichever one you want to call it. And I added it clear, and I just added multiple layers. You'll see me pick it up and add layers to it periodically. So it is super shimmery. And at the end, I ended up going ahead and adding some glossy accents over the white feathers on the peacock there, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I also cut Hello from 3 times from some black cardstock, and black cardstock on a black cutting mat. It's hard to see, so I grabbed a white piece of paper so we could see that. And I'm using Nuvo Deluxe Liquid Adhesive. Sorry about seeing the bad bruise on my arm. It's from my job. I picked up a box and the corner of it caught me a couple of weeks ago, and it still just hasn't decided it wants to go away yet. It was a pretty nasty bruise. Didn't know I did it at the time, but it sure has shown up. I love that meme that says women spend like 90% of their lives trying to figure out where that bruise came from. I know where that one came from. Anyway, so I put liquid adhesive. If you're having trouble stacking your word die cuts, start in the middle. Don't start at an end. Start in the middle and line up a middle layer, and it will kind of line up the rest of them automatically. And then all you have to do is fine tune it a little bit. But start in the middle and it works great. Then I went ahead and added glitter to that because you can't have too much glitter. And I thought about adding the glossy accents to this and make it pop a little bit more off the card. But at the end, I really didn't like that option. Since I already had it, I wanted the peacock to still really stand out in that back. Now, I was trying to figure out how I wanted to mat this on the card, if I wanted to use a neutral tone, but I thought, no, I really like it on white, but I want it to stand out just a shade more. So what I ended up doing was cutting, and I cut the panel down using my MFT Stitched Rectangle Frames dies, because y'all know I love me some MFT A2 Stitched Rectangle dies. I love them. I can't help it. It makes my heart happy to see that pretty edge and those stitched lines around it. I cut 3 pieces of black cardstock down with the same exact die that I used to cut the panel. And I'm going to stack those up and glue those together. And what that allows me to do is it actually gives the front panel an automatic shadow, and it just pops off of that white panel so much more. It looks really cute. And I could not get a good picture of it, and I am so sorry. I will try and see if I can get one and put it over on my Instagram. But it looks really good in person, and you can really tell that there is some depth to the card with that black cardstock behind it. And I just used liquid adhesive and ran around the edge of it. I didn't put it in the middle, just ran around the edge to make sure that it didn't buckle or peek through on the edges. You know how if you just put adhesive in the middle, the edges on a piece of paper will come up. That's why I put it around the edges really well and made sure that it was that all that adhesive went out to the edge. And I did that just using a stamping block. And now I'm going to put the front panel on here, and I do actually add liquid adhesive all the way on the inside of this. And I remember back in the day I used to think that using liquid adhesive was a big no-no on cards. It's the best stuff ever invented. I love my liquid adhesive. So now I'm going to put this front panel on here, and we're going to add some finishing touches to our card. And we're going to add the sentiment off to the side, and then I will add some glossy accents. And I didn't catch this on camera, but I ended up also adding some clear sparkling jewels, and I did it at an angle across the card. You'll see those in the picture at the end. Don't forget to head over to the Hedgehog Hollow blog and check out the post. All of the information, including a link to the post, will be in the description below, as well as the products used. And I'm going to leave y'all for the day and go take care of this ornery tooth that doesn't want to behave. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next time.